Hello, Steve Arts 89. Well, I'm slowly working through my back catalogue of gay films that I've been collecting and not had the time to watch. And I'm up to the film Ciao. Now, this was a 2008 independent film, and like a lot of gay films, a lot of gay filmmakers, we know our audience. We know that when you focus your film and target your film on a minority, you're not going to get the mainstream. So you have to do small films, and a lot of these gay films are very intimate, very few settings, few characters, very small stories, but that does sort of help them in some ways. There are limits to what you can do budget-wise, of course, but as we all know from Hollywood films, a lot of these films get all overblown and soulless. So it actually kind of works in a way for the sort of genre of um, gay films to sort of be limited to budgets and so forth. But this film is very quiet, very small, very slow. Um, it's about two men, um, Jeff and Andreas. They have a mutual friend. I keep wanting to call him Jack. His name is Mark, who dies in a car accident. And the friend Jeff is going through his emails and discovers that Mark was talking to Andreas, and he had invited him over from Italy. He was coming for a friend's wedding. He was going to stay a couple of days extra so he could spend 2 days getting to meet and know, I keep wanting to call him Jack, Mark. And Jeff invites him to come anyway, and he does. And they have some awkward moments. They get to know each other. They sort of tell each other about this person they both knew very differently. One, he was his best friend, and one was a potential lover that never met, that perhaps could have been someone big in his life, but he related to him in different ways. And they both saw different sides of him, and they share stories. And it's very interesting. The filmmaker Yen Tan is clearly not afraid of silence. He's not afraid of empty space. And there are a lot of scenes, long scenes, where actors are just feeling and thinking their ways through the story, and where other filmmakers would just write other scenes with other characters, other situations to explain and get from point A to point B. This film just uses the scenes, the actors, to just get there somehow. It's hard to explain. There's a shift in time and the perception of time when someone dies and you are alone with that reality. It just, everything sort of slows and you become really conscious of everything and how slow time moves. And this film really captures that feeling, that stillness and quietness that you sort of have after someone's passed and you're like going through their things and you're sort of trying to readjust to the world without them. And they do a really good job of capturing that in this film. Now these guys, there's one other scene with another actor who, a mutual friend, female friend, that goes to dinner with them. But besides that, it's just these two guys basically either out to dinner or alone at Jeff's house just talking about Jack. And there's a point where Andreas shows Jeff a video that Jack did of him singing. It gets him emotional, and he's only there for 2 days, so of course he's got to go the next day. He basically says goodnight. I'll set the alarm in the morning, and then the next thing you see Jeff in bed, and you think he's just sleeping and thinking about what's happening, because you know from the prior conversation he has trouble sleeping. And then you just see Andreas's fingers just go down his face, and you realize, oh, he's in bed with him. Did he just sneak in? Was he there? Have they, like, they don't have sex, they just they kiss, they embrace. Eventually Jeff rests his head on Andreas' shoulder, chest, and then they just go to sleep that way. The next day he leaves. Andreas does invite him to come to Italy, and there's a hint of maybe something might happen there, but they really were just connecting over this loss and sharing of this friend, this person that they both knew differently. And it's just a very fascinating film. It really does a good job of feeling its way through these characters and their experience, and invites you to really look into them and put yourself in your situation and sort of feel through and think through how you would be in that situation, which is interesting because you project a lot of yourself onto these characters and into these scenes, and you don't really know what the characters are thinking and feeling. So it's a very interesting film. It's a very quiet film. I can see a lot of people saying it's boring, you know, and if you just looked at it on the surface, it probably is. But if you want to look into it, it's a bit different. But yeah, I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of the film if you've seen it. If you haven't, watch it. But you know, don't expect the Avengers or anything. It's very quiet. Just very static shots, still shots. Scenes, people coming and going. Just long sort of you know, master shots and shots of the actors and so forth. It's very interesting, very moving in a very quiet way.